Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching TopTenz Net, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 bizarre and controversial archaeological discoveries.
Number 10. Acámbaro figurines, discovered 1944. The Acámbaro figurines are a collection of small ceramic figures allegedly found in Acámbaro, Mexico. They were discovered by Waldemar Julsrud in July of 1944. According to his accounts, Julsrud stumbled upon the artifacts while riding his horse in the Acámbaro area. He hired a local farmer to dig up the remaining figures, paying him for each object he found. Eventually, the farmer and his assistants discovered over 32,000 figures, which included representations of everything from dinosaurs to people from all over the world, including Egyptians, Sumerians, and bearded Caucasians. The Acámbaro figures have been cited as out-of-place artifacts, as they are clearly human-made and portray a large variety of dinosaur species. According to all history books, humans did not live in the time of the dinosaurs. Upon the discovery of the figures, many creationists from all over the world proclaimed the artifacts legitimate. If these figures are genuine, it could stand as credible evidence for the coexistence of dinosaurs and humans, which would severely damage the theory of evolution and offer support for the literal interpretation of the Bible. To date, though, no credible scholars of archaeology or paleontology accept the discovery as valid. Number 9. The Dropa stones, discovered in 1938. In 1938, an archaeological expedition was sent to investigate a secluded area of the Bayan-Kara Ula Mountains on the border that divides China and Tibet. The group discovered a series of caves at the summit of the mountains. The archaeologists uncovered the graves and discovered the remains of ancient beings. The skeletons were a little more than 3 feet tall, with abnormally large skulls. Inside of the tombs, a collection of stone discs were recovered. The discs were almost 12 inches in diameter, with a hole in the center. The discs were labeled the Dropa stones. Subsequent investigations have found a total of 716 Dropa stones in the caves. The Dropa stones were sent to a variety of scholars for investigation. One of them, Professor Sum Nui of the Beijing Academy for Ancient Studies, found that the spiral grooves were actually a line of characters written in an unknown language. Nui claims that an alien spacecraft crashed in the region 12,000 years ago. The occupants were aliens called Dropa or Zupa. The Dropa could not repair the craft, so they tried to adapt to the conditions on Earth. Many people have challenged these claims, and Nui was forced to resign from the Beijing Academy. Number 8. Horned human skull. Sayre is a borough in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, 59 miles northwest of Scranton. The exact year is not clear, but during the 1880s, a large burial mound was discovered in Sayre. It was reported that a group of Americans uncovered several strange human skulls and bones. The skeletons belonged to anatomically normal men, with the exception of bony projections located about 2 inches above the eyebrows. It appeared that the skulls had horns. It was not the first time that gigantic horned skulls have been unearthed in North America. During the 19th century, similar skulls were discovered near Wellsville, New York, and in a mining village close to El Paso, Texas. According to historical accounts, the Sayre bones were allegedly sent to the American Investigating Museum in Philadelphia. However, the artifacts were stolen and never seen again. Apparent pictures of the skulls do exist, but many people claim the discovery to be a hoax. Number 7. Map of the Creator, discovered in 1999. In 1999, a professor at Bashkir State University in Russia named Alexander Chuvrov made a remarkable archaeological discovery. He was called to the house of Vladimir Kranov, who reported a strange slab buried in his backyard. Chuvrov was instantly intrigued, as he had been searching for similar slabs that had been cited in various historical manuscripts. The slab was so heavy that it took over a week to unearth. The stone was investigated and determined to be some sort of 3-dimensional relief map of the Ural region. The stone reportedly contains representations of civil engineering work, weirs, an irrigation system, and powerful dams. To date, the ancient technology used to make the map is unknown and extremely advanced. The map also contains numerous inscriptions. At first, the scientists thought that it was an old Chinese language, although it was later reported that the inscriptions were done in a hieroglyphic syllabic language of unknown origin. If the map of the Creator is genuine, then it would suggest the existence of an ancient, highly developed civilization. The Dashka stone continues to undergo scientific testing and is not available for public viewing. Number 6. The Aluminium wedge of Aiud, discovered in 1974. The aluminium wedge of Aiud is a wedge-shaped object found 2 kilometers east of Aiud, Romania in 1974. The object was reported to be unearthed 35 feet under sand and alongside 2 mastodon bones. Physically, the artifact looked similar to the head of a hammer. The hammer was allegedly taken to the Archaeological Institute of Cluj-Napoca to be examined. Here it was found to be made of an alloy of aluminium encased in a thin layer of oxide. The artifact is considered strange because aluminium was not discovered until 1808 and not produced in quantity until 1885. The fact that the wedge was found in the same layer of earth as mastodon bones would make it at least 11,000 years old. Many people have claimed that the artifact is proof that aliens visited Earth. Engineers have reported that the object resembles the foot of a landing gear, not unlike the technology used on spaceships. The scientific community believes the wedge was made on Earth and its purpose is not yet identified. Due to the limited amount of information that exists on the subject, the antiquity and origin of the artifact is unclear. Number 5. Los Lunas Decalogue Stone, discovered 1880s. The Los Lunas Decalogue Stone is a large boulder on the side of Hidden Mountain near Los Lunas, New Mexico, about 35 miles south of Albuquerque. The stone bears a regular inscription carved into a flat panel. The inscription is interpreted by some to be an abridged version of the Ten Commandments in the form of Paleo-Hebrew. The first recorded mention of the artifact is from 1933, when Professor Frank Hibben, an archaeologist from the University of New Mexico, reportedly saw it. Hibben was led to the stone by an unnamed guide who claimed to have found it as a boy in the 1880s. If this information is accurate, a forgery would be unlikely because the Paleo-Hebrew script was unknown to scholars in the 1880s. One argument against the stone's authenticity is the apparent use of modern Hebrew punctuation, although epigrapher Barry Fell argued that the punctuation is consistent with antiquity. The stone is controversial because many feel the artifact is pre-Columbian and proof of early Semitic contact with the Americas, providing evidence that people from Israel settled in America. Number 4. Piri Reis map, discovered 1929. The Topkapi Palace is a historical structure that is located in Istanbul, Turkey. The Piri Reis map was discovered here in 1929. The map drew immediate attention as it was one of the earliest maps of America and the only 16th century map that shows South America in its proper longitudinal position in relation to Africa. The map is drawn on gazelle skin and was compiled in 1513 by Ottoman Turkish military admiral and cartographer Piri Reis. The most puzzling aspect of the map is its depiction of Antarctica. According to the history books, the first confirmed sighting of Antarctica occurred in 1820. The Piri Reis map not only shows a landmass near present-day Antarctica, but it depicts Antarctica's topography as not being masked by ice and in great detail. Many people have asked the question, how could a Turkish admiral from half a millennium ago map a continent's topography that has been covered with ice for thousands of years? Reports have been published claiming that the Ottoman Empire had knowledge of some form of ancient Ice Age civilization. However, these claims are generally considered to be pseudo-scholarship. Number 3. Giants of North America. Giant human remains are classified as any bones representative of a person between 7 and 12 feet in stature. A human skeleton measuring 12 feet tall was unearthed at Lompoc Rancho, California in 1833 by soldiers digging a pit for a powder magazine. In 1856, a decaying human skeleton measuring 10 feet 9 inches tall was unearthed by laborers plowing a vineyard in what is now West Virginia. A mound discovered near Toledo, Ohio in 1895 held 20 skeletons. They were seated and facing east with jaws and teeth twice as large as those of present-day people. The list of these discoveries is quite extensive, and many claims have been made about the origin of these giant bones, usually starting and ending with the Sasquatch. No physical archaeological evidence of these claims has ever been displayed. Number 2. Kensington Runestone, discovered 1898. In 1898, a Swedish-American farmer named Olof Öhman claims to have discovered a large stone while clearing his land of trees and stumps. The object was attached to the roots of a small tree. Öhman didn't realize what he had discovered, so he took the 200-pound stone to the prominent citizens of Kensington, a settlement in Douglas County, Minnesota. The Kensington Runestone is full of ancient writing and carved text. It is 31 inches high, 16 inches wide, and 6 inches thick. 9 years after the discovery of the artifact, Hjalmar R. Holland from Wisconsin University announced that he had deciphered the writings. He claims the text to read, 8 Goths and 22 Norwegians on exploration journey from Vinland over the west. We camp by 2 skerries and 1 day journey from this stone. We were and fished 1 day. After we came home, 10 men red with blood and tortured. Hail Virgin Mary, save from evil. Have 10 men by the sea to look after our ship. 14-day journeys from this island, year 1362. After Holland published his findings, a massive investigation was conducted. If the translation is correct, the Kensington Runestone would provide evidence that Scandinavian explorers reached the middle of North America in the 14th century, nearly 130 years before Christopher Columbus. The runestone has been analyzed and dismissed repeatedly. Almost all runologists and linguists consider the artifact to be a hoax. Number 1. The Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is a linen cloth bearing the image of a man who appears to have suffered physical trauma in a manner consistent with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The shroud is wrapped in red silk and has been kept in a silver chest in the chapel of the Holy Shroud in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy since 1578. Believers contend that the shroud is the cloth that was placed on the body of Jesus Christ at the time of his burial, and that the face image is that of the holy face of Jesus. Detractors contend that the shroud cloth material postdates the crucifixion of Jesus by more than a millennium. In 1988, radiocarbon dating was done on the shroud in an attempt to determine the relic's authenticity. The test indicated that the cloth was woven between 1260 and 1390 AD, much later than the time of Jesus. These results have been challenged by peer-reviewed journals, and many critics have raised questions about the original nature of the sample used in the test.
So I sure hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do give us a like below, and don't forget to subscribe. Button on the screen now as well as below me. Also over there on the right, a couple of other videos you might enjoy if you enjoyed this one. One is the top 10 archaeological discoveries that we still don't understand, and below that we've got the top 10 out of this world facts about space. So if you liked this video, you'll probably like those, and thank you for watching.